Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're heading off, virtually at least, to the Maldives, that incredible chain of over 1,000 islands in the Indian Ocean.
Ah, yes, the dream destination.
Exactly. And when you think Maldives, you probably picture those amazing bungalows over the water, right?
Huh.
Luxury, crystal clear seas.
That's definitely the postcard image. And it's real,
Mm.
but there's so much more to it. There's a really rich Maldivian culture there, too, beyond the resorts.
That's what we want to dive into today. We're looking at what a perfect 18-day trip might look like for a first-timer.
Right. Think of it as inspiration, maybe a blueprint. We'll cover what to do, where you might go, and definitely what delicious things you should eat.
Now let's talk cost for a second. Maldives sounds expensive.
It certainly can be, yeah, no denying that.
But we're also going to look at options that are, let's say, more budget conscious, but still give you an incredible experience, because it's not just about those private resort islands.
Absolutely not. You've got local islands, inhabited islands, where you can really experience the culture, stay in guest houses. And then there are uninhabited islands, perfect for day trips. So much variety.
Okay, let's get started. Day one, you arrive in Malé.
Right, the capital city. And it's fascinating because it's so different from the relaxed vibe you find elsewhere. It's dense, it's bustling, very urban.
A real contrast. So what's the first thing you do?
Well, I'd say head for the North Pier first thing in the morning. That's where you find the vegetable and dry fish market.
Ah, the markets. Always a good start.
Definitely. It's just an explosion of sights and smells, fresh produce piled high, spices, nuts, and that very distinct aroma of smoked fish.
And local snacks to try.
Oh, yeah. Look for tuna chips, super crunchy. Sea almonds, interesting taste, not quite like regular almonds. Dried mango, coconut sticks, all sorts of things.
Sounds great. And nearby.
Yes, across the street, you got the fish market right by the harbor. It's amazing to see the fishermen come in on their dhonis, those traditional wooden boats, unloading their catch.
When's the best time to see the action?
Mid-morning, usually. That's when the locals are there bargaining for tuna. It gets really lively.
And if you have a kitchen where you're staying?
Perfect opportunity. Grab some super fresh fish, maybe even ask for a recipe.
Yeah.
And one more tip for that area. Walk to the end of the vegetable market pier.
Why is that?
Wild stingrays. You can often spot them gliding around in the water there. Pretty cool sight.
Okay, so markets checked off. What about the cultural side of Malé?
Right, time to soak that in. But first, a quick note on dress code for religious sites. Important to be respectful.
Good point. What's the guideline?
For men, long trousers. For women, skirts that go past the knees and make sure your shoulders are covered. Pretty standard for many places.
Got it. First stop.
The Old Friday Mosque. Hukuru. It's incredible. Built back in 1656.
Wow, that old.
Yeah, and it's made of coral stone with these really delicate, intricate carvings. Amazing craftsmanship.
Can visitors go inside?
Officially, non-Muslims need permission from the Ministry of Islamic Affairs. But quite often the staff there can grant access, if you ask politely, outside of prayer times.
Worth asking then. And after that?
Just a short walk away is the Grand Friday Mosque. Much newer, very imposing with its big golden dome.
Similar rules for visiting.
Yes, modest dress, visit outside prayer times, and you should be fine to look around the vast hall.
Okay, exploring makes you hungry. Lunch nearby.
Seagull Cafe, right across the street. It's really cool, built around this huge leafy tree.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, grab a table on the upper floor if you can. You get great views looking back at the Grand Friday Mosque.
And what's good to eat there?
They do a great tuna steak. And the biryani is really flavorful, too. Good spot to refuel.
Sounds perfect. What about winding down the day in Malé?
As it cools off, maybe a stroll through Lanusiarai Park. It's a nice bit of green space.
Okay.
And from the edge of the park, you can see the Sinamuli Bridge that connects Malé to Huhul Island, where the airport is, and Huvamel.
Can you see surfers from there?
Sometimes. Yeah, check out the wave break near the bridge. You might spot some.
Dinner plans?
For dinner, I'd recommend Salatai. It's family-owned, maybe a 10-minute walk, really good green curry, chicken satay, and you have to try the mango sticky rice.
Mango sticky rice. Always a winner.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Just a heads up, restaurants get busy after the sunset prayers, so maybe book ahead or eat a little earlier or later.
Good tip. Any other quick stops in Malé if you have time?
Sure, you could check out the National Museum, Sultan Park, which is right nearby, get a closer look at the Sinamuli Bridge itself, or see Muliage, the old presidential palace.
So even the capital, which isn't the typical beach paradise image, has a lot to offer.
Absolutely. It's a really important starting point to understand the country, its culture, its energy before you head out to the quieter islands.
Okay, day 2, we're heading over that bridge.
Exactly. Across the Sinamale Bridge to Hulili. It's actually a reclaimed island built to help with population growth in Malay,
Interesting. How should we start the day there?
with a proper local breakfast. Find a hota that's a traditional Maldivian tea shop. They're like little social hubs.
Any recommendations?
Magukolu hota is popular,
Yeah.
and you have to try mashuni.
Maafushi. What's that?
It's shredded tuna mixed with grated coconut, onions, lime, chili. Sounds simple, but it's incredibly tasty. You eat it with chapati, the flatbread.
Sounds like a great local experience. How do you get around Hulhumale?
It's easy enough. You can rent a car, but a scooter or even just a bicycle is probably more fun for exploring.
Right. And the afternoon, time for the ocean.
Definitely. Head to Hulmale's public beach. It's got lovely white sand, calm water, even some swings set up over the shallows.
Nice. Any etiquette notes for the public beach?
Just remember, it's a local area, not a resort. So while swimming is fine, it's respectful to wear a cover-up over your swimwear when you're walking around or away from the main beach area.
Got it. What about water sports?
Hulhumale Water Sports Club is the place to go. They've got everything. Jet skis, kayaks, you can try surfing, snorkeling trips, even expeditions out to sandbars with local guides. Good for beginners, too.
Sounds fun. And after working up an appetite,
Red Snapper and Coffee Beans is right there by the beach. Great spot for refreshing fruit mocktails, remember? No alcohol on local islands. And their food menu is good, too. Salads, seafood, burgers.
perfect. How about experiencing local life in the evening?
Take a walk through Central Park as it gets cooler. You'll see local families out enjoying themselves, kids playing maybe near the water fountain. It's got a nice community feel.
And dinner?
For a casual dinner, try pilawus. It's known for Sri Lankan dishes, actually. Things like katu, the chopped roti dish, and string hoppers. Really tasty and filling.
Hulhumale sounds like a good blend, too. Any other highlights there?
Yeah, you could also visit the Hulhumale Mosque. There are some well-regarded restaurants like Cloud Signature, diving operators like Dune Maldives if you want to get underwater, or even a pottery place, the Clay Studio.
So it really shows that evolution, doesn't it? Local life meeting accessible tourism.
Precisely. It's a different side of the Maldives compared to Malé or the resorts.
Okay, day 3. We're moving on.
Yes, time for a change of scenery. You take a ferry, about a 2.5-hour ride out to Digura Island in the Alif Dal Atoll.
Alif Dal Atoll, known for.
Whale sharks and manta rays. It's one of the best places in the Maldives, maybe the world, to see them.
Wow. Okay. And Digura itself.
It's a local island. And this is where that shift we talked about earlier really comes into play. Until relatively recently, tourists mostly stuck to the private resorts.
But the laws changed.
Yeah, allowing guest houses and tourism on inhabited local islands. It's opened things up incredibly. You get real cultural immersion, experience genuine Maldivian warmth.
That sounds amazing. But there are differences compared to resorts, right?
Definitely. As we mentioned, no alcohol or pork available. And beachwear needs to be more conservative, except on specifically designated bikini beaches. It's just about respecting the local culture.
Makes sense. Describe Digura for us.
It's long and narrow, about 2 miles long. A fishing village, really charming, with this beautiful, sheltered blue lagoon.
Where would you recommend staying?
TME Retreats Digura is a great option. It's affordable, right on the beach, good facilities, and it's close to the island's bikini beach area.
Convenient.
And the staff there is super helpful. They can arrange all your snorkeling and diving trips, especially for those whale, shark, and manta encounters.
Perfect. So, afternoon on Digura?
Have lunch, maybe at the hotel, or grab some amazing fresh coconut ice cream at a place called Hermit's.
Coconut ice cream, yes, please.
Then just wander. Explore the village at the north end. Check out the gardens and resorts towards the south end. It's very walkable.
And then beach time or marine life spotting?
Exactly. Relax on the bikini beach or, more excitingly, join a snorkeling tour. High chances of seeing whale sharks, mantas, turtles in this area.
Sounds incredible. What about the evening?
You could book a sunset fishing trip on a traditional dhonie. They teach you the local techniques.
And catch your own dinner.
If you're lucky. And they'll often barbecue it for you right on the boat. Really special experience.
Or dinner back in the village.
Yep. Shell Cafe is good for sembal noodles or fried rice. Malavelli Restaurant has nice ocean views and a broader menu grilled tuna, even burgers if you're craving something familiar.
Any other specific recommendations on Digura dive centers?
Sure, there's Absolute Thai, if you fancy Thai food. For diving, Dive Blue Maldives and Digura divers are well known. Blue Tribe Maafushi nearby does dolphin watching and kayaking. and Dive Oceanus is another respected operator.
So Dagura offers that perfect mixed local feel, amazing marine life.
It really does. A fantastic base for exploring the atoll.
Which brings us to day 4, exploring more of Alif Dal Atoll.
Right. After breakfast on Dagura, one option is to get a taste of that luxury resort life without committing to a full stay.
How do you do that?
Buy a day pass to one of the private resort islands nearby. It gives you access to their facilities, pools, restaurants, bars.
Ah, smart. Like a little sample of the high life.
Exactly. Boutique Beach is one resort known for offering day passes, and they even do things like Maldivian cooking classes alongside diving.
And the day pass usually includes lunch.
Often, yes. Usually a big buffet spread. You'll find a much wider food selection than on the local islands, and likely alcohol options too, if that's something you're looking for.
What about activities at the resort?
Snorkeling is usually fantastic around resort house reefs. The coral can be really vibrant. Keep an eye out for those mantas and whale sharks again, plus tons of colorful fish.
Any resorts doing interesting conservation work?
Yes, some are really focused on that. LUX Southari Atoll, for example, has coral propagation programs where guests can actually help plant new coral. It's a great way to give back a little.
That's brilliant. So after a day of resort luxury, you head back to Dagura.
Right. And the evening is a great time to experience more local culture back on the island.
So?
As it cools down, locals often gather in the central square for sports. Look out for Bashe. It's a traditional women's ball game, really unique to watch.
Oh, interesting. What's it like?
One player serves a tennis ball backwards over their head, and the opposing team tries to catch it. It's quite skillful. You'll also see soccer, volleyball, badminton. They're very active.
Anything else to look out for?
Keep an ear out for Bonubru. That's the traditional Maldivian drumming and dancing. If there's a performance happening, you'll hear it. It's very rhythmic, very energetic.
What are the origins of a Bonubru?
It's believed to have roots possibly in East Africa, brought over centuries ago. The big drums, the chanting, the dancing, it builds up to this really powerful, almost trance-like state sometimes. It's a core part of Maldivian celebrations.
Sounds captivating. Any other resorts good for day passes in that area?
Villa Park Sun Island is a big one. Centaura Collection, Maafushi, Lily Beach Resort and Spa, Nova Maldives. These are all well-regarded options in the Alif Dal Atoll if you want to explore different resort styles.
So day 4 offers a really interesting contrast.
Exactly. The best of both worlds, authentic local life, and a taste of that famous Maldivian luxury.
Okay, day 5, we're taking the plunge into full luxury.
Yes. Time to head over to Conrad Maldives, Rannalhi Island, right across the atoll. This is where you experience that iconic private island resort vibe.
Can you just stay for a couple of nights?
Absolutely. It's quite common, actually. Even locals might do a short 2-3 night stay for a special occasion.
Tell us about the Conrad. It's pretty famous, isn't it?
It is. Partly because it's spread across 2 islands, connected by a bridge. Rannalhi Fanolu Island is more family-focused, lots for kids to do. Rannalhi Island is adults only, a bit quieter.
So you arrive, check in. What's the plan for the afternoon?
Pure relaxation and pampering, I'd say. Time to hit the spa.
Which one? You mentioned they have 2.
That's right. There's the overwater spa, built out over the lagoon. They have rituals based on time of day, mood.
Yeah.
Their sun soother treatment sounds perfect after being out in the sun.
Good idea. And the other spa?
That's the spa retreat on the main island. It offers a wider range of more traditional treatments and therapies. You really can't go wrong with either.
And maybe continue the relaxation theme with food.
Definitely. The Mantu Spa restaurant is designed for that. It's set over the water, focuses on organic, healthy cuisine, inspired by natural elements. Very calming.
Sounds blissful. But the evening. That's the big one at the Conrad, right?
Ah, yes. Dinner at Etha, the world's first underwater restaurant.
Wow. What's that like?
It's incredible. You're sitting about 16 feet below sea level, surrounded by glass, watching fish, sharks, rays swim by. Like being inside an aquarium, but, you're the exhibit.
Unforgettable. What kind of food do they serve?
It's usually a set menu, quite high-end, often featuring local ingredients prepared with European techniques. Contemporary Maldivian, maybe.
And they have that underwater bedroom, too.
The Morocco residence, yes.
Yeah.
An entire suite with the master bedroom submerged, offering 180-degree underwater views. Truly extraordinary, but obviously comes with an extraordinary price tag.
Speaking of price, that isn't cheap, is it?
No, it's definitely a splurge. Dinner can run you $400 or more per person. Lunch is a bit less, maybe around $200. Even just going for the cocktail hour is about $120. And you absolutely need to book well in advance.
Good to know. A real bucket list dining experience, though.
For sure. If you're going to do one major spurge, that might be it.
Okay. Day 6, still enjoying the Conrad. How does the day start?
Probably with an amazing breakfast buffet at Atoll Market. It's beachfront, huge selection, live cooking stations. They always have a different curry in the day, sushi, pastries, tons of fresh fruit.
Sounds dangerous for the waistline.
Possibly.
Yeah,
Maybe follow it up with a yoga session. They usually offer daily classes. A good way to balance things out.
good plan. What about experiencing some culture at the resort?
They actually have something called the Narulu Awa Cultural Village on Rannalhi Island. It's designed to give you a sense of traditional Maldivian life.
How do they do that?
Local women from nearby islands come and prepare a buffet of authentic Maldivian dishes, which is fantastic. And they display traditional crafts, coral carving, reed weaving, things like that. It's a nice touch.
That sounds great. And the afternoon? More relaxation.
Why not? Relax by one of the pools. The Quiet Zone pool on the adults-only island is pretty special. It's actually set into the ocean. Really serene.
Pool set into the ocean.
Wow.
Okay, dinner choices for night 2.
You've got options. Coco Grill is an exclusive open-air Japanese restaurant. Multi-course menu, teppanyaki-style, very fresh seafood cooked right in front of you. Again, quite expensive, but very high quality.
And a more casual option.
Rannalhi Bar is great for that. It's a relaxed beach bar, sand floors, good cocktails, and a Mediterranean-style menu. Nice vibe.
And after dinner, any unique activities?
How about nighttime snorkeling?
Really? What can you see?
It's a totally different world. You might see corals blooming, nocturnal creatures like eels, octopus, different types of fish that hide during the day. It's quite magical with the underwater lights.
That sounds incredible. Adds a whole new dimension to snorkeling.
Definitely worth trying if you're comfortable swimming in the dark.
Day 7. Time to leave the Conrad bubble.
Sadly, yes. But not without a final lovely breakfast. Maybe try Vilu Restaurant and Bar this time. It's usually a bit quieter, offers a la carte options as well as a cold buffet.
And maybe one last spa treatment.
Good idea. Squeeze in a refreshing facial at the spa retreat before you check out. Their hydration of Bisses treatment is apparently very good for rehydrating skin after all that sun and sea.
Okay, feeling refreshed. What about the afternoon before heading back to Malay?
Well, if you haven't seen a whale shark yet, now's your last chance. The resort runs a whale shark talk and tour excursion. Highly recommended.
Or if you've already seen them.
You could just enjoy some final snorkeling on the house reef. Just remember, no scuba diving within 24 hours of flying.
Right. The no-fly rule. Important reminder.
So stick to snorkeling. And then maybe a farewell lunch at Yufa. They specialize in traditional Chinese cuisine, which is another nice option.
Okay, then it's time to head back to Malay.
Yep, you'll take your transfer, probably a seaplane or domestic flight plus speedboat back to the airport area.
Any suggestions for those last few hours if your flight isn't until later?
You could pop back into Malay City, maybe visit Sultan Park and check out the National Art Gallery inside. It showcases Maldivian artists, often focusing on environmental themes, which is very relevant there.
Good idea. And a final casual dinner.
Khalid's Biryani is a good, simple spot for dosa or, well, biryani. Then head to the airport.
Any tips for getting around Malay Airport easily?
Taxis are readily available, and fares are generally quite reasonable between those areas. Shouldn't be too complicated.
Okay, so that wraps up the resort part and brings us back. Ready for the next phase?
Absolutely. Days 8 to 10 are all about island hopping, starting with Maafushi.
Maafushi. We hear that name a lot for independent travel in the Maldives.
Yes, it's become a real hub. You take a ferry or a speedboat from Malay. It's known for being more developed for tourism compared to some other local islands, lots of guest houses, restaurants, activity providers.
Does it have a bikini beach?
It does, yes. A designated area for tourists to swim and sunbathe and swimwear.
And the food scene on Maafushi?
Plenty of local options, lots of fresh seafood, naturally. You'll find roti, spicy tuna dishes, various curries. Very affordable and tasty.
What about activities for day 9?
Maafushi is great for water sports, jet skiing, windsurfing, parasailing, lots to choose from.
And diving.
Definitely. Several dive schools operate from Maafushi. Popular nearby sites include the Kudagiri Wreck and Graidu Corner. You might see reef sharks, turtles, maybe even mantas depending on the season.
Sounds action-packed. What about day 10?
You could take an optional day trip to another nearby island, Hanifaru.
What's special about Hanifaru?
It's known for its fishing industry, and you can see traditional Doni boat building happening there. It also has some decent surfing waves.
Or just relax on Maafushi.
Exactly. If you prefer a slower pace, just enjoy another day on Maafushi. Soak up the atmosphere. Maafushi really offers that more independent, budget-friendly Maldives experience.
Okay, moving on. Days 11 and 12 take us somewhere different.
Yes, a ferry ride to Fuludu Island in the Vavu Atoll.
Vavu Atoll, what's the vibe there?
It's generally known for being quieter, less touristy than Maafushi or the islands closer to Malay.
Why is it quieter?
Probably a combination of being a bit further out, maybe less developed in terms of large-scale guest house infrastructure compared to Maafushi. It retains a very strong local feel.
So day 11 on Fuludu, what do?
Snorkeling is great right off the island. Lovely coral gardens. You can wander around, see the local mosque, Masjid Al-Athar, maybe the Vavu Atoll School. Get a feel for daily life.
Fewer restaurants here.
Yes, options are more limited, but there are charming local cafes like Cafe di Orzo or Dream Hut Fuludu for simple, good food.
Any cultural experiences in the evening?
You might be lucky. Sometimes the locals put on traditional cultural dance performances in the evenings. It's worth asking around.
And day 12. Sounds like something special happens here.
It does. Fuludu is famous for the Alamatha night dive.
Night dive. With what?
Nurse sharks. Lots of them. They gather near the Alamatha Resort jetty at night. You can dive or snorkel with them. It's quite an experience. Very gentle sharks, but impressive numbers. You might see rays, too.
Wow, that sounds unique. Anything for advanced divers?
Yes, there are some interesting cave diving opportunities around Fuludu as well, for those with the right certification and experience.
Fuludu sounds like a great spot for quiet nature and unique dives.
Exactly. A different pace altogether.
Next up, days 13 and 14. Where are we heading?
To Razdu Island in the Alif Atoll. It's another relatively small, cozy island.
What's the focus on Razdu?
Relaxation and diving, again. Day 13 is perfect for just chilling out. Hit the Bikini Beach, find a hammock under a palm tree.
Sounds good to me.
And check out the local coffee houses. Places like Cafe Ole, Lily Taste, Shadow Palm, Lemon Drop. Good spots to watch island life go by.
Any evening activities?
You can take an evening dolphin watching trip. They often run ferry trips specifically for sunset dolphin spotting.
Lovely. And day 14, diving focus.
Yes, specifically manta rays. Razdu is near the North Channel, which is a major manta ray cleaning station.
When's the best time to see them there?
The peak season is usually November to April. That's when you have the highest chance of seeing dozens of mantas getting cleaned by smaller fish. It's an incredible sight.
What if you're there outside manta season?
Still great diving. The channel is full of other marine life sharks, turtles, schools of fish. It's a vibrant sight year-round.
Razdu sounds like another great base for divers and relaxation.
Definitely. A bit more laid back, maybe, with that strong diving connection.
Okay, final island hop. Days 15 and 16.
We're heading to Thadu Island in the North Ari Atoll.
Thadu. What makes this island stand out?
Fruit. It's known as the agricultural island of the Maldives. Famous for its plantations, especially watermelons and papayas, also chili peppers, and something called fufu fruit.
Interesting. How much of the island is farmland?
Quite a bit, actually. Maybe around a third of the island is covered in vegetation and farms, which is very different from most Maldivian islands that are mostly sand and palm trees. They have really fertile soil here.
So day 15 is about exploring the green side.
Exactly. Wander through the plantations, see how the fruits are grown, learn about local agriculture, and of course taste the fresh produce. You'll find it used in local dishes too.
What about day 16, the last full island day?
Enjoy Thadu's beautiful white sandy beach. It's got a great one. Do some final snorkeling. Savor those last moments of island paradise.
And maybe a final taste of the island.
Absolutely. Grab a fresh coconut drink in the evening. Can't get much fresher than straight from the source on Thadu.
Thadu sounds like a really unique perspective on Maldivian life beyond the usual beach focus.
It really is. Shows another important aspect of their economy and culture.
Right, days 17 and 18. Time to wrap up the journey.
Yeah, day 17 involves traveling back towards the center. You'll take a ferry from whichever island you finished on Thadu, Razdu, or Fuludu back to Malay.
What do you do with that last day?
Depends on your flight time the next day. It's a good chance for any last-minute souvenir shopping in Malay or Hulumel. Or maybe revisit a favorite spot from day 1 or 2.
And day 18 is departure day.
That's right. Head to Valana International Airport. Just make sure you allow plenty of time for your transfer back from Malay or Hulumel and for check-in, especially if you relied on local ferries for your last leg, as timings can sometimes vary.
Good advice. Plan for buffers.
Always wise, especially with island transport. You want a smooth end to an amazing trip.
Okay, let's quickly recap some of the food highlights throughout this itinerary. It sounds delicious.
It really is. In Male, don't miss those market snacks, tuna chips,
Yeah.
sea almonds,
Yeah.
and the tuna steak or biryani at Seagull Cafe, the Thai food at Salatai, and definitely Maafushi at Ahota. The mocktails and seafood at Red Snapper and Coffee Beans, and the Sri Lankan kotu or string hoppers at Pilawus.
Tigura.
Fresh coconut ice cream from Hermit's, and grilled tuna or maybe nasi goreng at Malavili restaurant.
And the resorts offer a whole different level.
Yeah, huge variety. International cuisine, amazing seafood buffets, maybe even all-inclusive deals. And that unforgettable underwater experience at Itha, of course. Plus, look out for Maldivian specialty nights or cooking classes.
What about the general food vibe on local islands like Maafushi, Fuludhu, Razdu?
Focus is definitely on fresh seafood, lots of curries, grilled fish, served with rice or roti. Eating at the guest houses is often the best way to get authentic home-style cooking. And check out the local cafes we mentioned for snacks and simple meals.
And Thadu adds the fruit element.
Exactly. Super fresh watermelons, papayas, coconuts. You'll taste the difference.
It sounds like a culinary adventure in itself. Okay, finally, let's summarize some key travel tips for first-timers. Best time to go.
Generally, the dry season, November to April, is considered best for sunshine and calm seas. But shoulder seasons, like late October or early May, can offer good value, maybe fewer crowds.
Yeah.
Mid-May to September is the rainy season, though you can still get lucky with weather.
Getting there and around.
Fly into Valana International Airport, MLE, near Malé. Resort transfers depend on distance. Speedboat for nearby islands, seaplane for further ones, scenic but pricey, or a domestic flight plus speedboat, often cheaper than seaplane for very distant resorts but takes longer. Always coordinate with your resort beforehand.
And for island hopping between local islands.
Local public ferries are the cheapest way, but schedules aren't always super reliable, so plan flexibly. Private speedboats are faster and more direct, but cost significantly more and might not run every day.
Taxes and Mali Humal.
Easy to find and fairly priced.
Accommodation range.
Huge. From budget guest houses on local islands costing maybe $50, $100 a night, up to ultra-luxury resorts costing thousands per night. Consider transfer costs when choosing, as getting to remote islands adds up. All-inclusive can be good value on resorts if you eat and drink a lot there.
Currency.
Maldivian rupiah, MVR, is the official currency, but U.S. dollars are very widely accepted, especially in tourist areas and resorts. Bring some USD cash, maybe smaller bills. ATMs are available, but might have fees.
Dress code reminder.
Modest dress, shoulders and knees covered, on local islands, especially when not on the beach or visiting villages' mosques.
Yeah.
Bikini beaches are designated for tourist swimwear. Resorts are much more relaxed.
Alcohol.
Strictly prohibited on local inhabited islands. Available at licensed resorts. Don't try to bring your own alcohol into the country. It will be confiscated at customs.
Local customs?
Respect Islam, the local religion. The weekend is Friday and Saturday. Businesses might close briefly for prayer times, especially on Fridays. Be mindful and respectful.
Packing essentials.
Light, airy clothing. Swimwear, respectful options for local islands, regular for resort bikini beaches. High SPF sunscreen, hat, sunglasses, the sun is strong. Check luggage limits for seaplanes' domestic flights. They're often lower than international flights.
Then finally.
Consider travel insurance. Always a good idea for unexpected issues, medical or travel related.
Fantastic. So this 18-day itinerary really shows the incredible diversity the Maldives offers, doesn't it?
Absolutely. You can blend that stunning natural beauty and relaxation with really genuine cultural experiences. It's not just one thing.
We hope this inspires you to think beyond just the luxury resorts, maybe embrace both sides of the Maldives.
Yeah, see the iconic views, but also connect with the local culture, the amazing marine life, the different rhythms of island life. It's a truly captivating destination for discovery.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. Thinking about all these different experiences, the bustling city, the quiet local islands, the agricultural hub, the luxurious resorts, the incredible underwater world, what kind of Maldivian journey really calls to you? And what hidden corner, what unexpected connection might you find if you venture just a little off the typical tourist trail?